Siddhartha, who became a Buddha in name and in reality, gained a divine perspective that sees the past, present, future, and all worlds. The universe in itself is completed by the state of nothingness, originally having neither beginning nor end, but simply existing. In other words, the universe originally had no beginning and no end, but only an endless Big Bang repeated in the diversity of existence forever. However, people only talk nonsensically and do not even turn their eyes towards enlightenment. Therefore, Siddhartha thought, even if I were to teach this deluded human world, nothing would be solved and nothing would get done. But however ludicrous people may be, the Tathagata Buddha in the parallel dimension, while living in a world of suffering, reached enlightenment and have taught their wisdom to the world in which they were reborn, leading all people to this state of nothingness. Therefore, it can be said that the phenomenal world, the world of defilement, gave birth to this pole of tranquility, nothingness. It can be said that the many Tathagatas broke out of time and space and looked at the infinite lands of Buddha with the eye of Buddha and gave birth to God, being the Buddha. Siddhartha, who became this almighty God, emitted one thought to the world of nothingness. However, it was not just the thought that was emitted, but the idea that nothingness itself is the very mind of God. Such is the will that all living beings in the infinite multi-universe within the true self should attain the same maximum enlightenment as oneself. This thought encapsulated the declaration, "Let there be light," and formed a single space-time in which a vast number of nebulae, galaxies, and planets were born in a flash. In other words, the birth of the universe. It follows that those who have become Buddhas can bring the universe into being through their divine power. Eventually, as time passes, life is born on several planets, and when this life reaches the stage of intelligence and civilization, Buddha can reincarnate himself into that world. Siddhartha saw that the world was one full of nature and harmony, with beautiful seas, rivers, and mountains. However, he realized that it was a world of water-born creatures, not humans. In the course of biological evolution, fish changed from gill-breathing to lung-breathing and began to climb upwards to the land surface. They overtook other species, further evolved their fins into legs, and lived a land-based life in the animal kingdom. By this time, several civilizations had already been created and collapsed, and a new civilization was once again being born in the basin of a large, fertile river on a warm continent, and those of that civilization were at the stage of beginning to lead an agricultural life. Siddhartha was then reincarnated in one of the countries that had split into several smaller territories, with a population of around 50,000. In that place was a fire-worshipping, non-killing religion, almost like the civilization in which we, the apes, evolved. There were already various religions being practiced. In this setting, Siddhartha, becoming a Buddha, was then reborn into a royal family that had evolved from fish. Thereafter, he awakened to meditation as a young man, followed several spiritual teachers, and successfully reached enlightenment during the middle of his life. He again became one with nothingness, created a Big Bang from his will, reached great enlightenment, and created various worlds. He returned to the world again, took disciples, spread his teachings, even making kings of many countries follow him, and returned to nirvana at the end of his lifespan. When he had explained that the teachings he once preached to the world were also the ultimate answer to the science of that world, that religion and science are one, and that this material world is one of the worlds of mind. He returned to the true self, nothingness again. Later, in the fish world, the search for the mind became a science. Meditation was encouraged everywhere. The scriptures containing the words left by Buddha were studied as the basis of science. Conflict disappeared from the world. The evolutionary dimension rose one level, and peace was established under one religion and one God. After returning from nirvana, Buddha again had his compassionate contemplations and descended into the various worlds within his inner self. As a person of various races, of countless spaces and eras, creating different settings for civilization, Buddha had incarnated his soul in every possible created world. He then spoke to the inhabitants of those worlds about the structure of this universe and the process of enlightenment. Using the names Ashku Tathagata Buddha, Nento Tathagata Buddha, Yakushi Tathagata Buddha, and Daitsu Jisho Tathagata Buddha, he transformed himself into various forms, and according to the level of evolution of the world, in terms of its civilization, each Tathagata Buddha expounded the mysteries of the universe in appropriate terms. There is a legend, that of Kalki in India. It is a story about a deity descending into the world of fish, lions, turtles, and elephants, as well as humans, and incarnating himself in the form of each animal to teach all forms of life. One of the incarnations of the divinities who transformed himself is said to be Buddha, who descended into this world. Furthermore, Buddha taught not only in the material world, but also to the gods of the spirit world. After many reincarnations, all of his disciples became fully aware of his teachings, and each became a Tathagata. Each Tathagata further preached Buddha's teachings to each world. Sentient beings took refuge in them, and eventually all became Buddhas. Finally, the entire universe itself was filled with Ku and attained perfection. This signifies the completion of the entire created world by those who have reached the fourth stage, God consciousness. It is the ultimate profundity in God that can only be reached by those who have become a Tathagata Buddha.